Great. Let's go. Okay. お願いします。
お願いします。
Perfect. Great. Just loosen off. Okay, good. Front and back. Set this slide. And into rotation. Great. Opening and closing. Okay, great. Starting with the feet, rolling the ankles out. To this side. Set this side. Great. Chip onto the toes. Shifting back onto the heel. Yeah, just one leg down, rolling the ankle off the floor. Straighten through the toes. Bringing the foot up, just twisting through the hip. And just nice and soft. Swing it front and back. Great, and switching the leg. Straight into the toes. Twisting from the hip. Right, and swinging front and back. Yeah, great. Bring the feet together. Roll in the knees. Both ways. In front and back. And a little bit deeper, coming down to a squat. Stepping out a little bit wider, just gently rocking to the hip. A little bit wider, straighten and bending one of the legs. Great, taking one foot forward, pressing on the heel of the back. Great, changing the other side. Take it into the hips, big circles. Swing both ways. Right, on the shoulders. Moving forwards. Alternating them. Taking one side, nice big circles out to the back. Great, changing the arm. Good, the arms across the chest, up to the side. And circling across the front. Good, changing direction. Okay, rolling the elbows out together. Into the hands, stretching out the fingers. Making fists. Keeping the fist down, pressing out, bending it back towards the armpit. And releasing it, taking it towards the body. And release it, taking it away. Great, bringing out the fingers up, bringing it stretching towards the shoulder. A little bit of pressure out the palm. Release it, take it towards the body. A little bit away. Taking the fingers underneath, taking them towards the armpit. Towards the body. A little bit away. Right, shake that one out. Take the fist to the other side. A little bit of pressure at the back of the hand. Curling towards the armpit. Towards. More weight. Feeling up. Moving back towards the shoulder. A little bit towards the body. Move fingers down, palm. Towards the weight. And weight. Great, shake it out. Shake it back up. And just rolling them, spreading the fingers out to the top of the movement. Great, good to take the head, just dropping it down. Nice, 4 circles around the back. Just alternating the direction as you get to the front. Great. And then you're just going to take the palms to the back when you've done that. Press the head back, push the hands forward a little bit. Lifting through the top of the head, tucking the chin a little bit. And then release it, let the head fall forwards towards the chest. Bring the elbows together. Release it back up to the top, a little bit bending towards the back, lengthening again through the neck. And now pushing the elbows back a little bit. Oh, one more time, release it, bring the head to the chest. Coming back up to the top. Whoosh. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Okay, release it, and just shaking out the hands at the top. A little bit up and down. To the sides. And rolling the arms down. And shaking the legs out. Great. Planting the feet, shooting up body weight. to make it smaller. Let's take it to him, pulse out from the center of the body. Okay, perfect. Great, we will continue with the joke again. So, you just take it into a little bit of ski way. Just go straight away into Zengo ski. Nice and slow. Find the ground. Take your time with it. Find the ground each time. Okay, great. Just play here with the rotation. So again, what we were looking at yesterday in the case where the kind of center is free the center is always free, that the arms are kind of able to revolve around that, and that the center is stable in the body. So just play here with a really like a slow rotation. But again, try and get away from that. The arms are going to kind of start it. And that the key thing with this is that the arms don't go, try and avoid that the arms kind of go over the top, which has a tendency to kind of pull the body up out of the ground. And then I've got to ground down at the end of the movement. So when you do this, just play with it like a really deep, slightly deeper movement, and just take this kind of movement slow, but just play here with the idea that the center is going to start that rotation, and then you kind of coil through this movement. So that same kind of idea, like all this kind of work, but play with the idea that the center is going to kind of coil it, and then just feel that the arms become light. The arms become light, they kind of pass through the center, and then you find the rotation with it. So just play. Yeah, and the key is that you kind of bring in the center into the jaw, and then revolve it out. Just play with like a slightly heavier rotation. That's it. Yeah, good. And then just to kind of emphasize the connection with the kind of across the body way. So you're going to take this position, just focus on the rotation. Take the backhand, you're going to bring it in and just let that hand take the jump. So you're going to, as you find the rotation, let that hand come in and then let it come out this way. And then let this hand take over this way. So you're just doing the movement with one hand. Let this hand really come into the center of the jump. So you want to get the center in, get the body behind it, let this hand take over, and then just let it kind of find that position. You're looking for the back to be balanced, and the end of the jaw just to be at the back of the hip, and then let this hand kind of shoot down. Change it. Slightly more. A slightly loaded position. But try and find the balance with it. So you're just looking at it really to try and balance the jaw in the body. Just one hand. Slightly emphasizes it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then just play with one more movement here. This is just get into the position, get into the feel of it. So you come up to the top and change it this way. So you all know this one. Coming up to the top, bringing the feet together, change the jaw at the top. And if you want, you can kind of ski into it in between. Just focusing on that kind of shifting and getting the hips driving the movement. And finding that balance point with the jaw just in the center of the movement. But now it's just above the head. You do it. So. And then again, just play with this one. It's just to kind of de-emphasize the arms, and also to help try and balance the joints of the body. So as you start this movement in, let that hand come in, let it come up to the top, and just let that hand take the jaw. And then you come down. Just keep that hand off the jaw. So you're just kind of balancing the body again, a little bit towards the end of the jaw on the hip or near the hip, and that front hand just kind of balance out. You're also looking to kind of connect the right amount of extension in the arm. So if as soon as I go out of connection, it's really obvious when I've got one hand on the jaw. And then the same thing, just let that hand take over from the back, balance the jaw into the body, and then drop it down. Change, drop it down. So it's just to kind of de-emphasize the arms. Get the center doing more work. Shoots in. Good. Right, so now mix these two together, bring both hands back onto the jaw, but try and keep them as light as possible. So you want especially in these kind of movements, let the hands really kind of flow down the weapon. And the key is that they're going to track with the hips. So really let the hips guide the handwork. So every movement D. Here. And here. Just kind of mix these two in. You've got the turn from the Zengo. The head. Keeping the center in place. Heavy. Keeping your arms light. Flexible. Great, and then with these movements, just start to mix in two skis. You've got the front ski, and in this case also include the thrust to the back, and bringing out the back. So again, you're looking for a kind of balance in the body. So you should feel all the time that you can make one, or the other. So you should be able to go to the front or the back of each of the positions. So just play with, again, finding the balance, and choosing the front or back. But feel that you can go into either. Is looking to really lower the jaw into the center of the mic. And the jaw kind of shoot out a little bit. Okay, great. We'll take this into a little bit of Hassa work. So just going into a basic Hassa to start, right foot forward in kind of 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒃. Yeah, and then releasing to the back. Just take a few coming into the Hassa, getting back into it. Not done for a while. Okay, perfect. So we'll just focus on, again, the arm work. So again, the idea, you want to kind of not fix the joints to the center, but make it really like densely connect into the center. So Just play with this. Just mostly focus on the front arm, which is going to find the first movement. Just play with here that the first feeling from here is that sense of opening this connection out. So letting that hand go to the side, but again, letting the body make that movement as well. So it's easy to do in a way like that, to just pull it back, but get a sense that the whole body as well as the back foot is going to kind of open out that movement. So you've got that kind of position first. So just play with going from here and then just opening out. And you're going to kind of soften the front of the body and then kind of open the back. So the back becomes kind of wide and the front's kind of softening here. So you don't want the front to be kind of collapsing in this way. So think about really opening the body out that way. You want to be nicely balanced. And just feel that the jaw's kind of connecting in. So it's got this kind of open. Okay. Good. Now from here, you're only going to use the right hand on the jaw. So you're going to go from here, and then from this position, don't do anything with this hand. Fix this hand and this hip, and then think about as that foot goes back, connecting this hand to the jaw. So this to this, and then as it goes back, let the jaw rotate up. But you're just going to do that movement just with this hand there, or just with this arm. So that connecting to this hip as it goes back. So just play with that. You can either do the full thing like that, find that connection, let that hand really feel that it's connected into the hip, and then draw it back, find that top position. That's it. And in this case, just with that one arm, you're just going to come up to this kind of 45-degree angle with the jaw. Then you're looking to really anchor the jaw into the body. Good. Nice. And then bring in the second hand, but really make it light on the jaw. So you're gonna go into this position from here, and then just let this hand kind of guide down the jaw. So the main thing with this hand, you're not trying to push out with that hand or do anything which is gonna kind of split the jaw away from that position. Literally just let that hand kind of glide down the jaw. So it's as this foot opens out now to the back, that hand is going to track with this hip. So as that hip comes into place, and then from here as the jaw rolls over, just let that hand go to the tip. So you're literally taking that hand from this position to that position, but just keep it like in the fingertips. So you keep it light, but then you're basically doing it through touch rather than pushing out with it, trying to find it. Do it with a sense of you're kind of rolling all the way down the jaw. You just want to find that 45-degree position again. You're not coming all the way up to the top. To that. That's it. That's it. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Great. And then the hands are basically going to change the kind of function with it. So you've got that this hand gripping all the way through, gripping, this hand sliding down. And then as you reach the tip, this hand's going to take over. And then as you do that, just focus on that hand. As this hand takes, this hand's going to release at the top. And then you're going to adjust the foot back, just doing a little bit of a shorter 𝒂𝒂𝒏. So you're not kind of stuck out in that position. So it's quite a few things happen just in that kind of small movement. That position, as this comes up, takes, this hand opens, and you find the top, just a bit close to the light. Goes 1, 2, and then as you go to here, 3, 4, oh, there we go, right on the left. 3, right to the top. There we go. Finish with the hand open and the hand on the left. Don't hit your light. So then the main thing with this, once you've got the arms connected, you've got everyone's got the movement. So play with this idea again that the sense is going to kind of lead it. So every movement of this with the hand is really led by a movement of the center. So in a kind of basic sense, you want the hips always to be in motion through that movement. So the main problem with this movement also is we kind of split it up, is that the hips tends to freeze, and then the arms do something, and then the hips do something. So play with now the sense that, especially the connection from the hips to the hands, that's constantly in motion. So all the way through this motion now, the body doesn't really stop. And in the same sense, the jaw doesn't stop. So you've got one flexible movement to the top. So just use those pauses in the 𝒂𝒂𝒏, both ends, like bookends in the movement. From here, you want the whole body in motion. So like a really heavy, dense movement. Perfect. Right. Now last. Okay. And then just think a little bit about the function of this movement. So there's a couple of functions you can use for this movement. The main one we use it for is this idea of kind of blocking the jaw as it comes through. So adding kind of weight through the tip of the jaw. So think about now you've got this connection out. The problem with this is I start going to kind of pushing with it. But again, keep that kind of dense connection. And it's just a feeling you're kind of dropping the weight through the jaw. So as you find this, you're going to adjust back and then drop the weight in. In the same way, if you think like an 𝒖kyo, like a kinara 𝒖kyo, coming back and dropping the weight through this way. So on this idea of pushing out with it, pushing out with the arm, think about just densely dropping the weight through it. And then that's going to connect out into the hand, and then you can draw it back into the 𝒊𝒏 position. Just think about now, you've either got usually like a ski towards the chest. But you can also think about kind of your gunning coming in as well. But the key thing is that sense of dropping the weight into the center, and then press out of the jaw. Whoa. You might find this easy also to just break that down, like you've got the block drop in the weight in, and then continue in that motion up to the top. 1, 2. That's it. Yeah. Okay, great. And then another kind of function you can do with this is in a way, it's a bit like a kind of slicing movement. So what you do with this, in this case, rather than like the contact point being here and kind of blocking with the jo, you're thinking more about the contact point being the edge of the weapon, the edge of the jo. And in this case, this would be like a slicing movement, generally across the forehead, really nasty movement. But this is a great movement to practice. So what you want to do is this needs a little bit more like a kind of whipping movement. So it's a bit more of a flexible kind of movement pattern with the body. So rather than this kind of one, and I'm thinking about that kind of point in the jo, two, think about as you come out this idea, you're kind of whipping out the tip this way. So just play with this again. Just go to this kind of 45-degree position. This there, but just get that feeling again. You're gonna get the feeling right in the tip of the weapon, and then slice it through. So it's like it's really like a kind of slicing movement with the tip of the weapon, rather than the part of the end. It's really the right at the tip of it. It's got that kind of quality now, that kind of whipping kind of quality. That a little bit. That's passive. Yeah, good. That's. Oh. Yeah, right. Okay, we'll take it into a little bit of 𝒊𝒏𝒃. So you can use either of those kind of movements with it or functions with it, like a block or like a kind of slicing movement. And we'll just take it into the first with the Hassa 𝒊𝒏𝒃. So coming up, position, and then finding the strike, down, next in the hips in. That's so 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕𝒆𝒏. Great. Great. We'll go to the ski to the front. So now you've got a lot of hand positions in this one. So really nice. So you got that position. Now the key with this is let the body drop in. Keep that hand open and just let it slide down. Take the end of the joke here. And then you've got this second position. You're going to release that hand as it comes up. Drop it back into the hasso. So we've got hasso, reishi, ski. Drop the weight in, find the base, and then shift back up into the hasso with the thumb down at the top.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Okay, good. Yeah, with this one, really emphasize try and get a position where I can hit my leg. Try and get emphasize the kind of drop in. So play with this one, the back foot's also going to release. So you're going to step 1, 2 into it. So really let the weight of the body kind of drop in. But the key is this kind of drop. Imagine the center is just going to drop into this position here, drop in and extend out. And then you do the same thing, shift the center line back, find that position. Here. I think all the time of the base of the centers dropping into the base, and kind of emphasize that play with really stepping the feet out. We've got 1, 2, 1, 2. It's really that same kind of movement you make with the ski, but you've got the jo up at the top of the movement. You're in a shorter position, and then you're going to widen the base, drop into it. But really feel that the base is kind of dropped in at this point, and then spring it back into the hasso position. Just play this idea, shifting the weight, dropping in, shifting back, rising up. So, yeah. Yeah, in a way, or this movement's more complicated than it needs to be. If you think about this one, so just play with this one from this position. You're just going to slide the jo in that way, and then keep that hand as it is. You're just going to slide it back that way. So if you think about the easiest way to get back into that original position is just to pull the jo back this way. So just play with this one because it just emphasizes a little bit more. Also the connection as you come up, this hip and this foot and this hand. So play with, as you do this, you see that and this foot kind of drawing up with this hand. So this movement tends to kind of confuse the body because it's working in a circle. But just play with it. So you've got that. Keep the hands as they are and just pull the jo back the same way it came. Drop it in, pull it back. Drop in, pull it back. Drop it, pull back. The key is getting the hips to, again, generate that movement. Drop, hit, hit. Drop, hit. Drop, hit, pull back. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Great, and then we'll go to the shidoshi. So come into this position. Again, you've got a different hand position. You've got this position at the top. Now the key is let this hand come over, and at the same time, again, drop the center down. So you're bringing the jo to the forearm this way, and then just let this hand take the jo in that movement. So it's a tricky one, and with lots of parts. We've actually got 1, dropping in, and then 3. So the ski to the back. 1, 2, drop the weight in, and then 3. And ski. That's right. Yeah, nice. Yes, yeah. Yeah, the key with this one again is imagine you want to have this feeling of kind of pulling the jo. So one of the problems with this is I start to reach for the jo. So the big one is this kind of reach out. So kind of trying to reach for the tip of the jo. And then automatically the body gets pulled forward, and then that movement's basically fall back. So play with this, just watch this hand position. As you go down, this hand basically just going to open out. So she's going to receive the jo here. Now as you pull the hips open, the jo is going to come to the hand. So that kind of feeling, and then that hand just flows down it, and then as it goes, inserts into the thrust. Rather than from this position, I'm going to reach the arm out and then thrust back with it. So play with the idea that you're basically bringing the jo to the center, and that hand is just going to kind of add to the movement, but it's not going to reach out first and then find it. So basically create a split in the body. So whole body together. Okay, last few, just play with, if you like. You can do these as a set, like 1, 2, 3, or you can link them together. So most of you know this kind of set anyway. So you're gonna go up, in. Once you find this position, go back into the hat up. Yep, down into this position, coming back up, and then from this position, just release that hand, bring the jo to the back, and then you find the Aikido, that position. Just you balance it together, or if you want, you can just do them as a set of 3. 1, hats up, 2, into the hats up, drop it down, find the Aikido. Great. Okay, we'll stop that. Very good. Right. Domo arigato.
Domo arigato.
Great.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Good, thank you.